It's 6:15 a.m. on a Thursday, the sky barely a shade lighter than midnight, and you mount your motorcycle with a familiar sigh. 5 years of pharmacy deliveries in Bucaramanga, and you know the city as well as your own hands. Helmet, jacket, packages, aspirin, insulin, blood pressure pills, 10 deliveries before noon if you work efficiently. This morning feels no different. Rush hour creeps into the cobbled streets. You've memorized every shortcut. Alleys, half-paved lanes, footpaths behind schools. You make 40,000 pesos a day. It is enough. Today, you go out of your way for 10 saved minutes and take a tight left into a neighborhood you rarely ride through. The street is narrow, shuttered windows, graffiti. You ease past a still dog. Suddenly, a car lurches from a driveway blocking your exit. You sense, before hearing, the whine of another engine, a motorcycle behind you. 2 riders, one gets off, his eyes hidden by a helmet's visor. Instinct tells you to gun the throttle, but the first man lunges. Someone's hand clamps your keys, another thrusts a rough cloth over your eyes. You fight, but hands grip your arms, shove you into the trunk. The lid closes. The trapped city noise muffles to distant thunder. Your motorcycle sits by the curb, packages strapped to the back, silent witness. Someone calls in your plate. You're rumored a scout for a rival gang. You're not a scout. You're a delivery guy who took a shortcut in the wrong place at the wrong time. You feel motion. The car jostles, turns, finally stops. The world is cement. Walls, ceiling, floor, no windows. They seat you in a plastic chair, wrists zip-tied behind your back. 3 men. 2 wear balaclavas. The third sits across from you, face bare. His calm, almost bored stare more dangerous than threats. Who sent you? Nobody. You deliver pills. Why were you there? Shortcut. A hand stings your cheek. Your ears ring. Who do you work for? Pharma Express. They dump your courier bag. Meds spill everywhere. They barely glance at them. Wrong street, wrong time, wrong bike. That's enough. Days crawl past in a haze of interrogation. Questions loop endlessly. Names, drop points, contacts, words you only know from the news, and some you don't. They hold your head underwater in a tub. Later, car battery cables bite into your wrists and ribs, leaving you rigid and gasping. Silence lengthens. Then, pain. Calculated, sudden. Desperate. You invent a name, a street, hoping it placates them. They check. Wrong again. This displeases them more than silence. You return to the truth. The truth is useless here. On the 3rd night, low voices seep through the wall. Urgent, stressed. They found the actual scout. Different bike, different block, different man. You catch the question through the door, so what do we do with this one? There's a heavy pause. Your life, measured against their risk, weighs in that silence. The unmasked man enters. He kneels, not unkindly, and tells you a story. You fell off your motorcycle. That's why you're bruised. You hit a post. You've never been here. You don't know them. Then he lists addresses you've never shared. Your mother's place, your sister's work, your nephew's school. His voice is casual, flat. He asks if you understand. You nod. Good, he says. The beating that follows is methodical. Soles of your feet, kidneys, ribs, damage you'll live with, wounds invisible to a stranger's eye. You know you're not the first wrong man in this chair. After an hour-long blindfolded drive, you're dumped on a cold highway shoulder before dawn. No shoes, no phone. You walk, every pace agony, every step uncertain. After 40 minutes, a bus stops. The driver looks at you, says nothing. You're a story he recognizes. You ride in silence. She can see it. You say motorcycle accident. Nobody believes you. Nobody pushes. The nerve damage in your left hand doesn't heal. You can't grip the throttle. Your riding career is over. You sell phone cases at a market stall. The money is 1/3 of what you made before. You flinch at every motorcycle engine. You take the long way everywhere. You check locks before bed 3 times, then a 4th time because 3 didn't feel right. You count parked cars on your street. If there's a new one, you don't sleep. Your sister asks why you scream at night, bad dreams. Your mother asks why you don't ride anymore. You just don't. But the fear isn't the worst part. The worst part is the helplessness. You were taken and returned like a package delivered to the wrong address. You had zero control over your body, over the pain, over whether you lived or died. 2 men on the other side of a wall decided your fate while you sat in a plastic chair with zip ties cutting into your wrists. You never want to feel that again. Not the pain, the powerlessness. That's the thing that rewires you. You start noticing things. The men who took you weren't scared. They were calm. They had the power. They decided who walked out and who didn't. You were on the chair. They were standing. You think about this every day for months. At the market stall selling phone cases, you watch the street. You see the guys on corners, the ones with radios, the ones who watch everything. They're not scared either. Nobody grabs them. Nobody puts them in a trunk. They're inside the machine, and inside the machine is the only place the machine can't touch you. You start asking around carefully. A guy you knew from school works for a local crew. You buy him a beer, you tell him you want in. He laughs. You're a phone case vendor. What are you going to do? You tell him you know every street in Bucaramanga, every shortcut, every back road, every alley. 5 years on a motorcycle, rain or sun. You know which roads get patrolled and when. You know which neighborhoods have cameras and which ones don't. You know the city like a map burned into your brain. He stops laughing. He says he'll ask someone. A week later, a man meets you at a cafe. He asks why you want the work. You don't give him the real answer. You say money. He asks if you've ever been in trouble. You say no. Motorcycle accident once. That's it. He gives you a phone. Prepaid. 1 number saved. When it rings, you answer. First job is simple. Pick up a bag from a house in the south. Deliver it to an apartment in the north. You do it on a bicycle because your hand still can't grip a throttle. The bag is heavy. You don't open it. You deliver it in 35 minutes. The man calls you that night, says you were fast. Come back tomorrow. For 3 months, you're a courier again. Same streets, same shortcuts, different cargo. You don't ask what's in the bags. You already know. The pay is 400,000 pesos a week, 10 times what the pharmacy paid. You buy your mother a new refrigerator. Tell her business at the market is good. She doesn't ask questions. You're reliable. You're fast. You never panic. Most new guys are jumpy, nervous, scared of every police car. You're not. You've already lived through the worst thing that can happen. You tell her you got promoted at a logistics company. She's not wrong. You buy a car. You sleep better. Not because the nightmare stopped, because the helplessness did. Nobody is going to put you in a plastic chair again. You're inside the machine now. You eat at restaurants where the owner knows your face. You wear clean clothes. You have a phone that always has credit. Small things. But for someone who sold phone cases in the sun 6 months ago, small things feel like everything. They bring you to a farm, different farm, better maintained. There's a man in a concrete room, plastic chair, zip ties, balaclava on the interrogator. Your handler tells you this one was spotted on their territory. Could be a rival scout, could be nobody. They want your read. You walk into the room. The man in the chair is maybe 22, skinny, cheap clothes, he's shaking. He says he's a delivery driver. He took a shortcut. He doesn't know anyone. His voice cracks when he talks. You look at his hands, calloused from gripping handlebars. You look at his shoes, cheap work shoes with pharmacy dust on the soles. You know this man, not his face, his situation. You've been in that chair. You know what the zip ties feel like. You know the exact pitch of voice when someone is telling the truth and nobody believes them. You walk out. You tell your handler he's clean. Wrong guy. Let him go. Your handler nods. They drive the kid to a highway and drop him off. No shoes, no phone. You don't know if he got home. You don't ask. You're 30. You manage routes across 3 provinces. You carry a gun now, a small one in your waistband. You've never used it. You don't need to. The gun isn't for fighting. It's for the feeling, the weight against your hip that says nobody decides for you anymore. You sleep in a decent apartment. You eat at restaurants. You send money home. Your mother's fridge is always full. Your nephew has new school shoes. From the outside, you made it. From the inside, you know what you are. You know the pharmacy packages are still on that street somewhere, the aspirin and insulin you were carrying the morning they grabbed you. That was 4 years ago. That delivery guy doesn't exist anymore. He died in a plastic chair on a farm outside the city. The man who walked out wasn't him. One night you're driving home. You pass through the neighborhood where they grabbed you. Same street, same turn. A kid on a motorcycle takes the shortcut, riding fast, pharmacy bag strapped to the back. He doesn't know that 2 blocks ahead someone is watching. Someone is always watching. You could flash your lights, honk, wave him down, tell him to take the long way, but what would you say? You took a shortcut once. It cost you everything you were, and the person you became to survive it is the reason that kids should be scared of this neighborhood in the first place. You joined the machine so it couldn't eat you, but now you are the machine. The chair is still in that room, still bolted to the floor. The only thing that changed is which side of it you're on.